everyone, it's Donna DeRosa from Donna DeRosa Coaching, and also from the Facebook group Blog Your Brand. And this is Wapu. He's the official mascot of WordPress. And I wanted to give you an update on WordCamp US 2016. It was the second annual WordCamp. Now for several years now, they've held regional WordCamps all over the world, but this is only the second time they've held the WordCamp US, where people from all over the world come to them. Next year for 2017, they're going to be holding it in Nashville, so that should be exciting. And I wanted to give you a little rundown on what happened, or my experience there anyway. The way that WordCamp works is it's a 3-day event, and the third day is for contributors only. And as you know, WordPress is an open source vehicle, so people can contribute code, and so the third day is really for people who want to work on different projects for WordPress. But the first 2 days are a bunch of talks that go on all day, and they have 3 conference rooms going at the same time, and there are 2 large conference rooms, and then there's one smaller one where usually 2 people speak and they split the hour. So what happens usually is they speak for about a half hour, and then they have a Q&A session afterwards. They take questions. So I just wanted to, I obviously didn't get to go to everything because there's 3 running at the same time all the time. And they also had a live stream that they made free this year that you could watch it online. And they recorded everything, and supposedly they're going to put everything up on their Facebook page, on their YouTube page, which is just youtube.com/WordPress, and I think it's called WordPress TV. So you may be able to watch them later. So the first talk that I went to was about designing for humans and not for robots. And I just took a few quick notes there. It was really logical stuff about like not having your website be too annoying with too many animations and things that slow it up. But I did jot down a few things that I thought were interesting. They said, people want to feel the experience was created just for them. I'm reading from my notes if you're wondering. And they want to feel that it's a personalized experience when they're on your website. And the people crave stories, and we're comforted by that. And they just want you to respect their time. So not too many animations. Make sure that your messaging is clear. If they're trying to have an e-commerce experience, to make sure that they feel secure and that they know what every button is that they're supposed to press and what they're supposed to do next. So that was pretty basic stuff, but it's good to keep in mind because sometimes we get into just making our site pretty and fancy and we don't really think about people who are actually using it. I also went to a talk by Pippin Williamson, who is a plugin developer, and for those of you probably know him, he's pretty famous. He has Easy Digital Downloads, which is an e-commerce plugin. He also has plugins for affiliate links and for membership sites. And he was there basically as answering a bunch of questions that people had posed to him. And one of the things that someone asked was, how do you stay motivated? And I thought this was good advice. And he said, to have a side project, to have a passion project somewhere on the side that isn't just about work. Because as entrepreneurs, I'm sure you all have experienced this too. In the beginning, you're just doing everything by yourself, and you feel like you have to do everything by yourself. And before you're ready to take on some people, and even when you do start taking on people, you still feel like you have to do everything yourself. So that's the boat that he was in. He was working constantly, and he was really getting burned out. And finally, someone said to him, just take Friday off. And just take Friday off and see what happens. So he did. He finally decided to take a Friday off, and the world didn't end, and his company was still there when he got back the next day. And he even realized that he was more refreshed than ever and full of creativity just because he gave himself a break and took that day off. So his main advice was to have a passion that is not your work and to pursue it. The next talk I attended was by Lema. His presentation was called Finding Your Voice by Blogging. And if you don't know who Lema is, you should look him up. It's CHRISLEMA.com, and he's a really smart guy. So he was telling a story about how he's never really been afraid of public speaking, and even as a kid, he was the first one in school to take charge of a group and things like that. But the first time that he sat down to a WordPress blog and started to write a post, he was terrified. And I think a lot of us can relate to that, especially in the Blog Your Brand group. A lot of us, we talk a lot about how we don't know what to write from week to week, and why would anyone read it, and what are our writing skills like. And his advice was to just stop filtering your inner voice, to write the way that you speak, and other people will read it and they'll hear the way you speak. A lot of times we try to speak with authority, And we are an authority of what we're writing about, but we try to speak in our industry jargon, or we try to sound extra smart. And the best thing you can do is to not try to sound smart, to just speak in your own voice, just write in your own voice. I thought that was good advice. He also suggested writing a lot, because the more you do it, the better you get at it. And sometimes you don't know what you're going to write until you sit down to do it. And you can stress yourself out trying to think of an entire blog post in your head. But if you actually just sit down and start to write, it comes. It just starts to flow naturally. He had a lot of things to say. I don't want to go through it all because we'll be here all day. But one of the other things he said was to stop blending in, because you're unique and there are a lot of people on the web. And actually, they were discussing this year that 27.4% of the web now is run on WordPress. So try to be unique in some way. Stop blending in. You are unique. We're all unique. And when you start talking like yourself, you're going to come across as unique, and it'll be really helpful to you. I also, on the second day, my other notes are on my computer over here, I went to a talk by Joost, and for those of you who know, he has a really popular, excellent plugin for WordPress that's all about search engine optimization. And one of the things that I thought was interesting, in his Q&A section, somebody asked him, what do you do if you're a small business? How do you compete? So I'm going to read to you what he said. He said, for a small business, think first of your marketing message, and then come up with 20 to 30 keywords that you want to be known for. And don't reach too high. He used car parts as an example. You're not, as a small business, you're not going to rank for car parts. But I said this before on the Blog Your Brand group. You're never going to rank for the word soap, or you're never going to rank for the word candle. So you have to come up with keyword phrases that go a little deeper than that to try to stand out. And he also suggested for small businesses to start local. A lot of people don't even think about local search. But if you can build yourself up in the local search engines, find a following there in your own community, and then build your way up, work your way up from there. And he said, and also don't be afraid to give away your knowledge. A lot of people are afraid that they're going to give away their secret sauce and someone is going to steal their ideas, but no one is ever going to be you, and they're never going to do it in the way that you would do it. So being unique, going locally, finding your keyword phrases, that's how you're going to be found in search, even as a small business. And then once you start ranking for those words and you start building your way up in the Google search engines or in Bing, whatever search engine people are looking for you in, that's when you're going to start building up authority, and then you can start going for the higher price tag keywords. The second day ended with the State of the Word address by Matt Mullenweg, who is the co-founder of WordPress. And I just wanted to go through a few things that he said, because they're important. One thing he said is that WordCamp is now going to be its own company. It was a part of WordPress in general before, and it's going to be owned by the WordPress Foundation. And the WordPress Foundation is going to be supporting like-minded nonprofits and educational workshops and hackathons that benefit nonprofits. And they chose 3 groups to work with next year. And they are Hack the Hood, Internet Archive, and Black Girls Code. So people were really excited about that. So if you want to get involved in any of those projects, WordPress is open source and you can always help out in some way. 2 of the most important things that came out of Matt Mullenweg's talk was that the official recommendations by WordPress now are PHP 7 with HTTPS support. Joost also spoke about HTTPS support, and that is an encrypted, secure connection for your site. If you have a shopping cart on your site, you're probably familiar with this, that you have an SSL certificate that makes for a secure connection for your customers. It's the wave of the future that we're all going to be on HTTPS. And it's much simpler than it used to be. In the old days, you had to have a dedicated IP address and it was expensive. And now it's just going to be a free feature that'll be coming probably through your hosts. So look for that for the future. PHP is the language that your blog runs on currently. And most people are in the range of 5 somewhere. My host is GoDaddy, and the last time I checked, I wasn't able to run something because my PHP was too low, according to my theme developer, which is Elegant Themes. I run the theme Divi on my site, and some features were not available to me. And I checked with GoDaddy, and I was running on PHP 5.3, and they did have 5.4 available, so I upgraded to that. But it wasn't something that was just naturally offered. I had to manually update it myself. Most sites last year were recommending 5.6, so a lot of our hosting companies are behind on this, and it's a big jump to go to PHP 7. But supposedly it doubles our time, the speed of our websites, and that is the official recommendation by WordPress now. And they're saying that if you don't update, you probably will not have some functionality in the future, and a lot of your plugins may also not work in the future. Don't be afraid of it. It's something that's gonna take time to roll out. But what they are suggesting that you do, it's nothing that you can do personally on your site. It's that your web hosting company has to do it. So they're suggesting that you contact your web host and kind of give them a little nudge to update as quick as they can. I spoke to the GoDaddy people when I was at WordCamp. They had a table set up, and they didn't have a WordPress employee there, but they had someone who was volunteering to fill in, and I spoke to him about it. And he was having the same issue, and he said that they're promising that they're going to be updating their PHP by the end of December, and they're hoping to make the leap all the way to 7. So hopefully that is coming soon for us. I think that's about it. Oh, I wanted to mention WordPress 4.7 is coming out. Well, it actually released yesterday. They were giving us a preview of it at WordCamp, and yesterday, December 6th, it released. So if you haven't updated it yet, you should, because it has a lot of new features, and it's named after Sarah Vaughan. Each WordPress update is named after someone in the jazz community. Matt Mullenweg is a huge jazz fan. He's also a jazz musician. So this time it's named after Sarah Vaughan. So WordPress 4.7 is officially called Vaughan. It comes with a new theme for 2017. Each year they do a free theme, and this year's theme is really beautiful. And it's the first time that they've developed a theme specifically with small businesses in mind. And you should check it out if you can, and it automatically comes free with the update. It has a very big, beautiful video header capability at the top. It has a multi-section homepage, and the areas that are new have been pre-populated with content that you can then go in and edit, but they want it to pre-populate it so you can see what functionality is available to you, and then you can either take it out or you can update it with your own stuff. So they are the two biggest updates coming this year. And they usually do 4 updates a year with WordPress, and they're changing that now, and they're just going to kind of release things as they're available instead of feeling that they have to put stuff out 4 times a year. So the new one is available, and you should download it. And if you don't know, WordPress runs 27.4% of the web, and I think that's amazing. So if you're not on WordPress yet and you're looking to start a blog, that's a great way to start. I just think that's incredible that they're so powerful now that they have 27% of the web. Okay, if you got this far in the video, thank you for watching. I know it's pretty long. If you did watch this far, can you please write down in the comments that you watched this far, and let's have a little secret code. So if you got this far into the video, type Sarah Vaughan into the comments section, and it'll be our little joke. So people who didn't make it all the way through can see the comments and say, why is everyone writing Sarah Vaughan? But we will know it'll be our little secret. So say goodbye to Wapoo. And thank you for listening for this very long video. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments section. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you like my content, share this video, and feel free to ask any questions or put any comments below. Thank you. Bye.